Let's go to Peter Neglia first.
170-pound weight limit in the welterweight division. The sponsors are Everlast and Providence AC. The referee is Big Dan Bergliana. Coming out of the blue corner from Alpha Omega MMA, trained by Oleg Musijin. Wearing the black trunks, he weighed at 171 pounds. From Kislovodsk, Russia, welcome please, Eric Olganov. Across the ring out of Pellegrino MMA Crusaders, trained by Kurt Pellegrino. Wearing the black and white trunks, he weighed at 169.5 pounds. From Brick, New Jersey, welcome please, George Sullivan!
Sullivan 40 miles up the Garden State. Oganov a little further away in his trip to get here.
He takes that long bridge.
Called a 747.
Right. Oganov out of Russia. Here we go, round one. Sullivan in the long black trunks.
Overhand left by Oganov. Catches the leg. This is a big step up for Sullivan. It's a real test for him. You know, this is a guy in Oganov that's been around really since the beginning. You know, his first fight back in 2000. You can get a little earlier than that, I suppose, but.
Well, you know, he's just very, very experienced. Fought guys, UFC guys like Chris Ligori, David Barron, Musasi you mentioned. Just, I mean, who's who on his resume.
Yep. Well, if you want to move to the bigger shows, you got to pass a test like this at some point.
Well, this is a test for Sullivan. I'm very curious to see how he does here. Been very impressed watching him at the Ring of Combat his past couple of fights.
Yeah.
Good year in 2010.
James Fryer and Tawan Howard. But again, you know, neither one of those carrying anywhere near the experience of an Eric Oganov. And we're seeing that right now, that, you know, right now Sullivan neutralizing that corner. He's the busier fighter, but he's in the wrong position.
Well, he's landed some nice short knees in there.
Oganov with one of his own, but Sullivan right back again. Double underhooks for Oganov now.
Right.
Now, you know, Sullivan got mad, but Kurt Pellegrino said, you know what, take it easy. Now, he does get, you know, up to 5 minutes. Obviously, the doctor is not going to come in under this condition. When it's a groin strike, the doctors don't come in, obviously, but if it's an eye situation, they will come in and check it out.
Doctors can't check groins?
Well, not in front of the crowds, generally.
You see Sullivan's a little wary there, because when Oganov punches, he punches with his whole body.
Yeah, nice sweep by Oganov.
Oganov is very strong. That can be very intimidating for a fighter. And sometimes a guy like George Sullivan, you know, he hasn't faced anyone that strong before. It can take a toll. He's doing well, though. He caught that pelvis sweep. Very nice.
Sweep by George Sullivan.
Looking for the Americana. Nice job of punching the body to get Oganov to put that arm back down and then go right back to the Americana.
And George Sullivan in the half guard of Oganov.
He can lace over to a crucifix right here and help him pass. And Sullivan's got to stop telling the ref his job and start doing his own job. You know, he's upset that Oganov's hitting him in the back of the head, but you know what? You're fighting, man, fight. Let the ref do his job. Miragliata, they don't come a whole lot better than Dan Miragliata.
Nope. Big Dan, like we mentioned, MMA Awards nominee for the best ref of the year, won by Herb Dean.
One of the 5 best refs in the business. Probably one of the 2 best refs in the business.
I tell you, refereeing's even harder than judging.
You see that sometimes, you know, people will question things, and listen, man.
Get in there and try it.
Yeah, really.
I mean, basically, these are sometimes life and death decisions. So,
oh, and they're also, you know, you're talking about a guy's livelihood. So not only are you worried about a guy's health.
Right.
It's their livelihood. You step in there and stop a fight, you're costing a guy thousands of dollars. It's a huge weight on the shoulders of a ref like that. you know, very hard to second guess a guy in most cases.
Absolutely. Well said. And we're coming down. A few seconds left in the round. I tell you, that's a pretty tough one. I think
not a lot happened.
Not a lot happened.
The biggest thing that happened in this round was the knee to the groin. Don't rerun that for us, guys. We don't want to see it again.
Sullivan was angry before, but now he seems to be smiling.
You know, who knows what's going on in the judge there. You know, Oganov got the takedown. Oganov controlled the clinch against the fence. Sullivan was the busier of the strikers, got the sweep on the ground. So what do you do? That's just a tough round to call. Hope you guys are enjoying this on Go Fight Live. Joined by the Garv.
Great to be here with you, Thad. Always a fun night at the Ring of Combat, and Kurt Pellegrino with an old school waving the towel in his fighter's face. That's an old school boxing.
Haha. Muay Thai.
And we get set for round number 2. Bouncing on his feet.
He throws everything and every punch, man. Look at that left to the body.
Nice left to the body there.
Sullivan's going to have to set his feet and throw. He's going to have to hit him back, or Oganov's going to keep coming after him. Oh. Nice push kick.
Yeah. Oh, for the big takedown by
Oganov. Takedown. Every kick that Sullivan threw above the waist landed him on his back. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, you know, in the first round, Oganov didn't really do too much on the ground.
No, he didn't do anything.
But then again, Sullivan wasn't that active either, so.
No, he was able to get the sweep, but got stuck in a half guard coming over the top. Wasn't able to pass and wasn't able to strike. It was really not a lot. You know, it's a tough one to judge. He's trying that pelvis sweep again. Oganov hip to the game.
Right now, Sullivan is right in his own corner. Pellegrino giving him some advice over there.
Telling him to walk up the cage, like right up the cage. Unfortunately, you know, Sullivan's not doing it.
Well, you know what? If he was a little bit higher with his back up against the cage.
He has nothing in between him and Oganov. He's got to get a leg in between him and Oganov. Otherwise, Oganov's weight's on him. If he can fish a foot in, then he can start to work. You see that from the half butterfly guard where that stand-up will come, or a guy will get a knee across the belly and then create space that way. But when you're in a full guard, very hard to stand up.
Oganov, you know, content to just stay right in that position. Doesn't even look
Sullivan's
like
kicking that right leg out to the side sometimes. He's trying to fish for a butterfly with it. He's trying to roll an armbar right now.
Getting those legs high.
Oganov is doing the Mark Kerr. He had the neck crank going. Can opener.
Can opener.
Very simple defense. You just let your legs unlock, and that doesn't put as much pressure on your head, but.
Mark Kerr, that's an old school name. He was always fun to watch.
He's fighting a Russian when that happened. The name is escaping me right now. Broke the guy's neck.
Did he really?
Broke his neck. Yep.
Mark Kerr, tremendously strong back then.
Yeah, you know, had a little supplementation going on in his diet.
The specimen.
Yeah.
Or as the Brazilians call him, the smashing machine.
Yep. He put on a couple of great shows back in the Pride days.
Oh, definitely. And on those Valley Tudo shows down in Brazil.
God.
Those were great. Right here, this fight is not quite as bloody as those Valley Tudo shows. Not exactly a scintillating, electrifying match. A little bit of a chess match on the ground.
That's why we're talking history here, Gar.
And you know,
if contemporary history is not exciting enough, you got to go to ancient history.
Well, Oganov is not really looking to pass. He's just really happy right here.
He's winning the round. You know, what's he got to do? He doesn't have to do anything. This is on George Sullivan. If George Sullivan, you know, he wants his star to rise, he's going to have to do something to get it to rise right now.
We've got less than a minute to go in the round.
He's going to have to do something here. The first round was very close.
Ref Dan Mergliotta says, okay, stand up. Let's make something happen, guys.
Sullivan with a nice right hand, but again, Oganov with a clear game plan, because every time that Sullivan has set his feet to strike, Oganov has gone and taken him down.
This is Oganov's game plan. Definitely, you know, control the action, control the pace, and just land those, you know, little shots that will score some points. 10 seconds to go. Tactical fight by Oganov. Oh.
He's got a leg lock there. Obviously huge in Sambo.
Sambo.
Sambo, yeah. She's a crow. Sambo, thank you for the save.
Sambo, an excellent, all about the leg
Mixed
locks
martial art.
Sambo's a great sport. Fedor, of course, combat Sambo.
The Russian Special Forces.
Spetsnaz.
Focus, guard, focus.
I thought I was. And here's
yeah, where are you focusing? That's the question. We're watching replays, not that.
Oganov is, you know, relentless with his takedowns, and
he's
that's
just very calm. That's what he is. You know, the experience here. We saw that earlier. You know, DeBlas was fighting Weitzel, and Weitzel's experience didn't give DeBlas any type of nervousness. And in this fight, you know, Oganov's been able to do enough to really kind of. We're seeing a different George Sullivan than we saw in his previous two fights, just because of the level of his opponent.
Well, you know what? This is the kind of fight that you could expect the third round to look pretty much like the first two rounds. Oganov is going to try to get the takedown off a kick or something, and let's see if he does.
I don't know what George Sullivan has in his toolbox, but you know he's going to have to dig, because so far the stand-up hasn't been his. Obviously, the ground game hasn't been his.
He might want to do like
that's another big left hook.
Take a page from Rampage Jackson book and don't throw any kicks. Just come in with some punches.
There he goes. He's got it deep. He's going to land that.
There it is.
Sullivan recovered for a split second, but it was in the cards that he was going down. You get that deep on someone's hips.
Well, Jeff Blatnick, Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, he can appreciate a nice takedown.
Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt where his scorecard is leaning right now. Nice little job by George Sullivan.
Right.
Scrambles out.
Now, that's
what I get for checking my records. I'm looking at my Eric Oganov record on my computer. There's too much technology, guard. That's a problem.
Actually, absolutely. You know, it's nice to have handy, though.
I told you earlier about being able to crucifix out of this position. Oganov didn't do it either. You can use that crucifix to step out of that half guard.
Well, right now, George Sullivan is in top position finally, but he really needs to do something.
We were in this place in the first round also, and he wasn't able to pass, so let's see what he can do.
That's what he needs to do, is land some body shots. You know, just wake up the judges and show, hey, listen, I'm in here.
Little FaceTime for Jim Genia over there. Fine MMA journalist.
Jim Genia, yep. MMA blog spot. Jim Genia coming out with a book about the underground scene in New Jersey.
New York and New Jersey.
And we get chance of USA, USA.
Unfortunately, despite this scramble in top position for George Sullivan, you know, Russia's done more than USA to this point in this fight. This is nice work by Sullivan here. This is what he needs to do.
Well, this is, you know, a good round for Sullivan. Definitely need it. You know, he's got under 2 minutes to go here, but he really needs a finish here. He's just putting pressure down with that forearm into the neck of Oganov, but that's not going to stop anybody.
He might have won the first round, and that's got to be the hope right now. You know, if he won that first round, it's very close. If he wins this third round, Oganov, you know, did everything in the second round. I don't see how that could have been scored for Sullivan.
Well, you know what?
He's got an arm triangle right here. If he works that up, using it to pass, very nice.
George Sullivan, now he's looking really good here. Just needed some more time.
He just gave away the underhook to Oganov. Let's see if Oganov can scramble out of this now. He's putting good cross-side pressure, but Oganov's able to get his hips up.
Oganov calm here. He's been here before. And Sullivan landed some nice shot to Oganov's face
Push
there.
to the hips. But now Oganov gave Sullivan the underhook back. Underhooks give you leverage to keep your opponent flat. You see Oganov now turning out on his side. He's able to have more power and leverage.
Oh, they're telling George.
Nice little shoulder stomp. Took his sternum right to Oganov's face. Didn't use his shoulder, actually used his sternum. You're not allowed to headbutt, but you can use your body to slam the guy's head into the ground.
Well, Sullivan ending this fight with a statement. Now, you mentioned the first round. That first round, if it was close, if it went to Sullivan, he's got this fight because he's dominating this round. So we know it's one apiece, and it's all going to come down to who won that first round.
Nice mount there at the end. Oganov with the leg lock again.
And Sullivan turning the right way. Well, Sullivan feels like he won.
Very good fight. Oganov stuck to his game plan. That scramble, I want to see that scramble again because I missed it. You know, Oganov looked like he was very solid in top position. He got this takedown, and Sullivan recovered